Do you agree that change from the outside in is reactive change and it creates pressure? Most of the folks outside of these walls feel victimized by change. Oh no, the interest rates. Oh no, the economy. Oh no, September 11th. Oh no, oh no. Do you agree that change from the outside in is reactive change and it creates a victim mentality? What's a victim mentality? And any of you live with someone like, don't raise your hands. Any of you work with somebody with a victim mentality? Victim mentality. They look outside, it's raining, and they say, what a horrible day. No. If you live in Los Angeles, California, and it rains, it's cool. It actually dissipates the smog. You can actually see what you're overpaying for. It's a good thing when it rains in LA. But how many of us are guilty allowing something as uncontrollable as weather to change our attitude, to change the way we dream our mighty dreams? Let's talk. I live here in Utah. I'm so proud of it. I live by Snowbird Ski Resort here in Utah. When it snows in Utah, we ski. Anybody here from the South? Where are you from? Dallas, Texas. I was in Dallas, Texas this year for the Super Bowl. It snowed. This year it snowed in Atlanta, Georgia. Snowed in Charlotte, North Carolina. When it snows in the South, you crash your cars. Anybody here from the Midwest? Where are you from? Illinois, Minnesota, North Dakota, Wisconsin. When it snows in the Midwest, you fish. That kills me. Let's just drink the bong water and go fish there. Anybody here from California? Yeah, we love your country. It's a good country. I was in Malibu Beach when it snowed for the first time. No one had ever seen snow before. All the crazies were out on the sidewalk going. They thought it was cocaine from God. They're like, whoa, dude, I believe I'm going to save this, buy me a new car on the weekend. If change from the outside and it's reactive change and it's what everybody outside of these walls is about, then change from the inside out is what we're about, and that's the single ingredient that makes the difference. Change from the inside out is proactive change, and it creates power. How does it create power? It reminds us one moment in time changes everything. Do you believe that? Let me prove it. I was on the program with Henry Winkler, the Fonzie from Happy Days. Clearly one of the funniest guys I've ever met. He decides he wants to take some time off, treat himself to a matinee movie. So he slides in through the side exit door of the theater. As Henry Winkler shuffles himself through the aisle, he finds himself a vacant seat. As Henry Winkler turns to sit down in the chair to look up at the movie screen, the little girl sitting right behind him smiles this giant smile. She points her finger and she slowly says, Fonzie. Henry Winkler immediately snaps into the Fonzie character from Happy Days. Hey, whoa. And the lady sitting next to the little girl passes out. Theater manager comes out, takes care of the woman's needs. She's lying in the aisle, cold pack on her forehead. She's asked one question. Why did you pass out? She said, my little girl is autistic. And that is the very first word she has ever spoken in her entire life. It doesn't matter what our past has been. We have a spotless future every day, moment by moment, to dream a mighty dream, committing to making it happen, and achieving the results that we dream about. So instead of talking about change, when it comes to dreaming dreams, let's insert a higher bred word that allows us to rise to the occasion, and that word is stretch. To illustrate, I snapped my Achilles tendon playing basketball with the guys on my street, trying to be 20 years old again. The gentleman who operated on my ankle, his name is Dr. Jim Morgan. He was actually playing in the game. He denies it. But I believe with all of my heart that he came up from behind me in the game and said, I need a new boat. And he pushed me down. He surgically reattached my Achilles tendon and put in a plaster cast for 3.5 months. I got the cast off and I was immediately placed into physical therapy. Any of you ever been in physical therapy? Physical therapy teaches us two things that are relevant to this convention. Number one, I go into the physical therapist's office, he warms up my ankle. Then he takes the tip of my foot and he bends it and stretches it to a place it's never ever been before. And as I'm sitting there hanging on with visions of sugar plums pinballing around in my head, he lets go. And it flips back into the exact same spot it was in before he started to stretch me. Wouldn't that be a complete waste of your time, of your money, of your life that you'll never ever relive again? If we as speakers and presenters do everything we know how to do to stretch you intellectually and emotionally, and you just leave this national convention, this international convention, go back home and flip on back into the exact same spot you were in before you arrived. Most of the time, that's what happens in meetings, and that's why we discount the power of meetings. That's why we discount the power of speakers. Any of you ever heard a quote, motivational speaker speak before? Yeah, don't get so excited. You're all like, yeah, I got all the tapes. Go on. I agree. I don't want to be a motivational speaker. They're shallow. They always show up and say stupid things like, we become what we think about. That's not true. If that was true, I'd have been a woman by the time I was 12 years old. I want to be an inspirational speaker. Because in my mind, that word inspiration seems to indicate that the message will outlast the meeting. Duh. Second thing we learned from physical therapy that is definitely relevant to this family reunion. You have to stretch before you strengthen, and here's the kicker. All the strengthening occurs in the area past the point of discomfort. I know a lot of superstar professionals. May I be so bold as to throw myself onto your heap? We have the ability to push ourselves to the point of discomfort all by ourselves. Some of you are proving that right now. You're looking at me like, wow, if I could just have one more RPM, I'd be a good day. But I know of no one who has the ability to push themselves into the area past the point of discomfort all by themselves. We cannot dream a mightier dream than we currently dream unless we hang around with dreamers. Unless we hang around with people who get it, who understand that stretch is proactively yearning to take ourselves to the next level, realizing we can't do it all by ourselves.